Welcome back to the Michael Baisden Show. We didn't get a chance to get into this too much last week, George, because we were focusing on Mother's Day, but the president, of course, came out for same-sex marriage.
Yes.
And people lost their minds last week. Earl Fowlkes, the president and CEO of IFBP, International Federation of Black Pride. Earl, your phones have got to be ringing off the hook since the president made this announcement.
Yes and no. For those of us who know the president, who are familiar with his administration, we were not surprised that he came out and made this personal view regarding marriage. We know he's been evolving on this, and he's been sending signals to the LGBT community that he would be coming around to this.
What's the big deal? We're trying to, George and I, of course, being very open-minded guys, I mean, we're like, what is the big deal? Why do we have this issue with gays being married, you think?
And why is there so much opposition to it?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. The reality is that for the gays and lesbians and transgender people, we don't want to force churches to force them to marry us or allow us to get married. We can't force any institution to marry us. This is about civil law. This is about going down to the courthouse, going down to City Hall, and getting a license that allows us to enjoy the 1,138 benefits that you come from being married.
So when people say it's a religious thing and they have opposition to it for religious reasons, you say what?
Well, that's your business, and you should feel that way. My father's a minister, and he told me on Friday that he would not marry me and I asked him, I said, if I had a partner and wanted to get married, would you marry? He says, no. Now, my father's 76 years old and used to be in the Marine Corps, so I didn't expect him to say yes, but what he did say was, if you want to do it, that's your business.
So what do you say to the country listening right now to the show about their opposition to gay marriage?
Well, I mean, you have a right to oppose gay marriage. But you do not have a right to deprive anyone of their civil rights to enjoy the benefits of the marriage, the legal benefits of marriage. There was a time that black people could not get married. There was a time that interracial couples could not get married.
That's right.
And the country is going to change. This is going to happen, whether people like it or not. It's happening in the District of Columbia where I live. It happens in Massachusetts and other states. And Western civilization has not collapsed. If I were to get married to another man, it does not impact anybody else's relationship with the person that I'm going to get married to.
Well, that's what I always say. My question is, what effect does it have on your life?
On the straight marriages.
Right. Why do you care?
Exactly. And the church's opposition to marriage is also very puzzling as well because of all the issues that we have to deal with in the black community. We have substance use, poor access to education, we have poor access to affordable housing, and we have poor access to medical treatment. And you're worried about two individuals who are making a private covenant. Right. Marriage is a private covenant between two people. And if those two people, after they go down to City Hall and get their blood test, because if you get married in church without the license, it doesn't count. So after you do that and you come back and you choose to have it witnessed in a church or a mosque or a synagogue, that's your business. But marriage is a legal institution in this country, and that people who oppose it, what I say to people, if you don't like it, people don't like abortion, and people ask me, what do you feel about abortion? I say, well, I can't have one, so I don't have an opinion. So the fact of the matter is, if you don't want to have, you don't support same-sex marriage, then don't marry another person of the same sex.
Right.
Look, Earl, I cannot thank you enough. I love what you're doing, and for me and George, opposition has always been the same since we came on the radio. I guess for me, my whole life, I've just never had an issue with a person's lifestyle. I just don't understand with so many other things that you said that we have to worry about. Why are we so passionate about this? And can you believe, Earl, that some people will not vote for the president because of an issue like this? And we have so many other important issues like Supreme Court nominations and a bunch of other issues from going to war. Why in the world would anybody make this a top priority?
Well, I think that for people who are not doing the right thing, it's easy to throw up a smoke screen. Because this is really not important. It's not a priority in people's lives. I asked my father if he's voting for the president. He said, of course, the president's doing a great job.
Good.
The president disagrees with same-sex marriage, but he doesn't agree with the fact that if people want to do it, they should be allowed to do it.
Absolutely.
So, it's about your personal preference for things
right.
I don't like to do, and so I don't do them. But I can't say that someone else shouldn't do them because I don't like it.
Hell, I'm opposed to smoking. You know,
exactly.
But people still going to smoke cigarettes. I don't think I should have a law against them smoke. Look, we can go on and on and on
right, exactly.
about things that people are opposed to. And it's a very good point. Being opposed to one thing, being opposed to something is one thing. Having a law against it is a whole nother matter. They're even having constitutional laws about this, George.
Yeah.
The Constitution, somebody made this point. I think Rachel Maddow said this. The Constitution is to give people rights, not to take them away.
That's correct.
Thank you very much, Earl, for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Earl Fowlkes, President and CEO of the International Federation of Black Pride. I'm going to tell you, like everything else with time, sometimes it just takes a little time to get it right.